is. Wow.
They're going to have inspectors out there once they do this and do the replacement and see what went wrong.
Tense moments here in the West as a plane is forced to make an emergency landing today after losing a tire moments after takeoff. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. That falling tire fell onto cars in a parking lot near San Francisco International Airport. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Now investigators are trying to figure out why that tire came off of the aircraft. Here's a live look tonight at SFO, where that United Airlines plane took off earlier today, headed for Japan. And as KTVU's Tom Vakar reports, that plane was diverted to Los Angeles, where it made an emergency landing.
Depending on its actual departure weight, usually around 150 tons, the Boeing 777 jumbo jet, depending on runway length, wind, and weather conditions, took off around 200 miles an hour when the 265-pound wheel and tire assembly fell off and hit the car in the employee parking lot before coming to rest on the concrete. Internationally respected aviation lawyer Mary Schiavo is also a former Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Transportation, which oversees the Federal Aviation Administration and the airline industry.
It's a very significant event. Fortunately, it is, rare. And often it comes with older planes.
To get to Osaka, the plane was likely carrying a full load of fuel, around 48,000 gallons, enough to fill 5 semi-tanker fuel trucks.
It has been cleared for a visual approach.
Another problem on landing, after the short flight to LA, there was still more than 40,000 gallons of fuel on board, making the plane very heavy for landing at somewhere between 160 and 185 miles an hour.
Looks to be pretty uneventful, thank God.
The greatest danger, landing that heavy, is risking, however unlikely, that more wheels will come off or collapse.
Oh, wow, there it is. Wow, there it is.
But this plane, like all airliners, is so overbuilt to handle even rough landings. Further loss or collapse was a very low risk.
There's a redundancy, and sometimes not just 2 of everything, sometimes 3 or more of things. But the redundancy in this case of the wheels is you do have other wheels that you can land on.
Why land in LA?
With those nice long runways, pointed, if you're landing how you usually land, pointed right into the wind.
Nonetheless, there is still a significant amount of risk.
Whenever you have a landing without all your gear, your wheels, there's always a concern if the others should go or pop. It's it's always a big risk for a landing without a perfect aircraft to do it in.
Now comes the investigation.
What they do have to do is fully inspect. They're going to have inspectors out there once they do this and do the replacement and see what went wrong.
Now, if that tire would have injured someone or hit a structure, that would be considered an accident requiring a full NTSB investigation. But if the damaged car or the damaged fence don't qualify, it will be recorded as an incident not requiring so much action. But in either case, this never, ever should have happened. Tom Vakar, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Firefighters in Oregon say no immediate problems have been discovered on a plane that was forced to head back to Portland International Airport after takeoff. That Alaska Airlines plane was headed to Phoenix last night when passengers and crew members in the back of the plane started complaining about fumes or an odor. After the plane returned to Portland, those who complained requested a medical evaluation. No injuries were reported, and Alaska Airlines spokesperson says a maintenance team is now inspecting that plane. The Oregon dad who's accused of drugging his daughter's friends at a sleepover in Lake Oswego is now getting divorced. According to court documents, Michael Maiden's wife filed for divorce weeks after his arrest. Maiden is accused of drugging 3 12-year-old girls back in October during a sleepover. They told police he made them mango smoothies and insisted they drink them. One of the girls later texted her mom to come pick her up, saying she didn't feel safe. Maiden pleaded guilty he pleaded not guilty last month and posted $500,000 bond. Now we turn to Phoenix tonight, where 6 people have been indicted in the death of a teenager. 16-year-old Preston Lord was assaulted during a Halloween party last year, and his death was ruled a homicide last month. As Fox 10's Justin Lum tells us, 3 of the suspects appeared in court earlier today.
He was a son, a brother, a grandson, a nephew, a cousin, and a friend to many. Everyone who knew him loved him.
A statement from the parents of Preston Lord read in court by their lawyer. All eyes on 18-year-old William Hines, 20-year-old Dominic Turner, and 19-year-old Taylor Sherman.
All the defendants involved in assaulting Preston ran after he was beaten.
At a Halloween party in Queen Creek last October, 16-year-old Preston Lord was found on the road, beaten badly, and taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries before his death 2 days later. Prosecutors say suspects tried to destroy evidence in the case. Taylor Sherman's lawyer tried to get his bond lowered.
Mr. Sherman has no criminal history whatsoever. He's 19 years old. He is employed, and his family is not wealthy.
After a months-long investigation, Queen Creek police say Hines, Turner, Sherman, along with 17-year-olds Talon Renner, Talon Vigil, and Jacob Meisner are involved in Lord's murder. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office reviewed 2,000 pieces of evidence, including 600 videos, before presenting its case to an investigative grand jury. County Attorney Rachel Mitchell spoke to KTAR News this morning.
This was massive. There were so many potential witnesses and witnesses involved here. There was no one thing.
Hines was already in custody for 3 cases of aggravated assault, stemming back to November of 2022, including a fight at a Gilbert In-N-Out the next month. Court documents say he was caught on video punching a victim 10 times and told police earlier this year that he was part of a group of friends with a reputation. This development in the Lord case comes as Gilbert PD reopened several cases of violent teen assaults. Queen Creek Police Chief Randy Bryce says there's been collaboration between both agencies.
There's a lot of crossover in individuals that either know each other or involved in our case and their cases. While, again, I can't say this enough, is while I understand that the Gilbert Goons and that moniker is a real point of part of what we're seeing out here and an important piece of that, our focus was specifically on the individuals involved in Preston's death.
On Wednesday, Queen Creek police swarmed the White Wing community in Gilbert with an arrest warrant for Talon Renner. The Renner name is familiar. Talon's father, Travis, was recently arrested on drug charges, and his older brother, Kyler, was arrested on multiple charges, including aggravated assault linked to a parking garage attack. It's important to note Travis and Kyler have not been accused in the Preston Lord case. Mitchell says her office is not done with this investigation.
If we find evidence that is sufficient to bring those charges, we will bring those charges.
Hines, Turner, and Sherman will be arraigned on the 13th. They're currently being held on a $1 million cash bond. At the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
In Southern California, home surveillance video captured a violent attack on a mail carrier in Gardena. This happened 2 weeks ago, but the U.S. Postal Service has yet to press charges in the case. And now this neighborhood is coming together, calling for the Postal Service to take action. Residents believe they know who the attacker is. They say he's squatting in a house in that area.
If a mail carrier is able to carry pepper spray to defend themselves from a dog, why can't he protect himself from somebody who's literally sucker punching him in the back of the head?
The LAPD has confirmed they have received a police report, and assault on a mail carrier could bring about federal charges. Colorado lawmakers have tabled a bill designed to define embryos as people. Republican State Representative Scott Bottoms introduced the bill, calling to include a living unborn human child at any stage of development in the definition of a person. A House committee has postponed consideration of the bill indefinitely. This move followed last month's Alabama Supreme Court ruling that said embryos created through IVF treatment are children. That decision caused many hospitals in the state to pause IVF treatment because of potential legal repercussions for healthcare professionals. And late last night, Alabama's Governor Kay Ivey signed new legislation into law to protect IVF providers from lawsuits. Now, Colorado State Representative Scott Bottoms reacted to the shelving of his bill with this post on social media. It reads in part, "Once again, the Democrats in the Colorado House of Representatives have voted against children. They believe that children in the womb have no rights. They continue with their war against children and standing for criminals." Up next tonight, no Zionists allowed. Coming up, more on the backlash over this policy at one Utah bar.
people threatening to burn down our bar, bots just harassing our social media, trying to review bomb us.
Ahead, why critics say this bar's policy amounts to hate speech.
And in weather, here's our beautiful live camera up in Seattle. Mostly clear skies, the current temperature of 45 degrees. Rain chances return in the Friday forecast. We'll have the update coming up.
Also coming up tonight, a first in the country happening right here in the West. We'll break down the case that accuses someone of smuggling greenhouse gases into California. A San Diego man is charged with allegedly smuggling illegal refrigerants into the United States. 58-year-old Michael Hart is accused of buying refrigerants in Mexico and smuggling them into the U.S. under a tarp and tools. They say he posted those items for sale online, including on Facebook Marketplace. The EPA says this violates regulations that are meant to curb greenhouse gases that cause climate change.
We want the U.S. government to aggressively pursue regulations and through legal means to reduce greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. But again, this is a small piece of the greenhouse gas emission puzzle.
This marks the first prosecution related to the American Innovation and Manufacturing Act of 2020, which prohibits the import of certain refrigerants without prior approval from the EPA. Hart has pleaded not guilty in federal court. He did that earlier this week. A Utah bar's No Zionists Allowed policy is stirring up some controversy. Critics say it fuels anti-Semitism. Fox 13's Maithili Gubi spoke to the bar's owner, who says they're wrong.
A policy by a local cider bar in Salt Lake City is causing quite the controversy. I'm Fox 13 News reporter Maithili Gubi, and I spoke to people on both sides of the issue about the impact that messages like these can have on the community.
So we've been very vocal for a long time about hate speech, and this is like nothing new.
On Monday, Weathered Waves, a cider bar in Salt Lake City, posted, quote, "No Zionists Allowed" policy to their Instagram page. The owner, Michael Valentine, says it's part of a larger effort to make everyone feel safe and welcome in light of the war in Gaza.
And anybody coming in here spreading any hate speech, denying genocide, denying anything, making our Palestinian Arab friends feel unsafe, they won't be welcome here. And that is the point, too. People are saying, oh, your bar is not inclusive. Actually, it's very inclusive because we don't allow hate speech.
The post was received with support, but also criticism from Utah Jewish community members trying to clarify what Zionism really means.
Zionism is purely the belief that the Jewish people have a right to self-determination in an independent state. It doesn't have to do with your views regarding the Palestinians. And in fact, there are many Zionists, such as myself, who very much support the creation of a Palestinian state and Palestinian rights.
Now, this is a Yalla Kosher Utah food truck that's made public statements after Weathered Waves policy made the rounds on social media. I spoke to Rabbi Zippel, who's a partner with this food truck, and says many people have been already filing civil rights complaints about Weathered Waves policy. He says they hope to use the food from their food truck to bring people together and not divide or propagate anti-Semitism. Valentine says standing up for causes he's passionate about has come with challenges, even though he claims to not exclude a certain faith.
People threatening to burn down our bar. I'm getting calls all over the country right now from Israeli disinformation campaigns, bots just harassing our social media, trying to review bomb us.
But the Anti-Defamation League says this rhetoric is part of a broader issue.
So there's no doubt that people are pretending to not be anti-Semitic or anti-Jewish here by replacing the word Jewish with Zionist. It's happening everywhere. It's kind of a code. We don't want Jews here.
In Salt Lake City, I am Maithili Gubi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, it has been a mix of weather across the West today. After days of on and off rain in the Bay Area, the sun was out over the Golden Gate Bridge today. While in Arizona, storms moved in, dumping sleet up in Prescott. And north of Salt Lake City, Utah, cameras captured images of a new round of heavy snowfall there. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking conditions across the West. Mark, a nice mix there.
Yeah, definitely. All kind of linked up to one system that's on the move out and on the way and actually moving into other portions of the West Coast. So yeah, take a look at the rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. We're kind of focused in Southern California and portions of Arizona. And these numbers really adding up. Some convective showers popping up throughout the day. Northridge reporting 1.77 inches of rainfall over the past 24 hours. Los Angeles over a half an inch. Phoenix 0.15 and Scottsdale 0.11. So here you can see the overall weather pattern on the satellite and the radar. There's the main jet stream out here in the Pacific. As we come in closer, you can see the main action today, not in the Bay Area, but down towards Southern California, picking up the rain showers and also out toward Arizona. In fact, here's a closer look at the radar imagery over the past few hours. So things still unstable, as you can see, moving out of the Phoenix area, and still some lingering rain showers in portions of Southern California as we head into this evening. This was a scene today in Phoenix, showing you those storm clouds out there. Temperature, a high today of 65 degrees. In the San Francisco Bay Area, finally some sunshine after multiple days of some rainfall over the past week. A high today of 60 degrees. We're looking out toward the Bay, out toward San Francisco Bay and Alcatraz in this picture. And then up in Seattle, you can see some clouds showing up in this camera lens, and a high today in the upper 40s, right around 47 degrees. Here's the overall weather picture tomorrow for your Friday. Now, this system, as you can see, will be approaching the Pacific Northwest, so the chance of some rain for tomorrow up in Seattle. For San Francisco, some sunshine making a comeback, clearing skies down towards Southern California. And you can see this area of low pressure. This could produce some snow showers out toward the Denver area. So they get the winter mix for tomorrow, but it looks like some more sunshine breaking out across parts of California, as you can see in the Friday forecast. In fact, the forecast model is kind of picking up on that, showing you the chance of some rain up in Seattle tomorrow afternoon. Not much rain to show you for the state of California, but still some lingering rain showers possible and snow showers out toward portions of Arizona. And then, as you can see, into the weekend, we see this system come on board. So rain for Seattle and Portland, and maybe some rain showers closer to San Francisco. That would be for Saturday. It's all reflected coming up in the next 3 days, with those rain clouds making a comeback in Seattle. San Francisco gets the sunshine tomorrow, some changes over the weekend, and it looks like a sun-cloud mix for Southern California. And there's that big snow icon for Denver, so they have the snowfall for tomorrow, and then eventually going to warm things back up. Look at this in Phoenix, 70s, maybe approaching the 80-degree mark by Sunday. So, Alex, some areas the storm clouds are clearing out. Other areas, another system will bump up the rainfall potential.
Yeah, but it sounds like you need to keep the umbrellas and the rain jackets handy here over the coming days.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
All right, Mark, thank you. Yeah. The Colorado River, of course, is a key resource for 7 states here in the West, and now they are proposing new water-saving strategies to make up for short supplies. For the first time, the lower basin states, Arizona, Nevada, and California, are addressing the large amount of water evaporation in the basin. They want to end the practice of Lake Mead water levels determining water cuts, and they're demanding more strict water conservation. Current guidelines expire at the end of 2026. Federal officials will consider the state's proposals and craft a new plan for when they end. Coming up tonight, a close call for one surfer in Hawaii. Tonight, bite marks left on his board help to tell the story of how he survived a close encounter with a shark. Also, anticipation is building tonight for the hatching of bald eagle eggs in Southern California. We'll check in with wildlife experts for more on the reasons why this is such a rare event. A camera set up in Southern California's San Bernardino Mountains is helping give a whole new meaning to the concept of bird watching. Take a live look tonight at this nest that is tens of thousands of people are keeping a close eye on when they log on to this live stream. They're all hoping to witness the rare hatching of bald eagle eggs. The organization Friends of Big Bear Valley has set up this camera to monitor activity at this nest. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reports tonight that some people are worried this clutch of eggs is taking too long to hatch.
If you are following the Big Bear Eagle Cam, you are probably hearing about concerns of the viability of the first egg that was laid because it's way past due. But experts are saying, don't panic just yet. Still plenty of time. And if you want a close-up look at eagles without the camera, take a look at these guys. They're right here in Sylmar. From nest rearranging and noisy fish head dinner reviews to weathering severe winter snowfall, Live camera streams of the Big Bear eagles, Jackie and Shadow, taking care of their eggs is followed by millions of people, including visitors checking out 2 other local eagle stars in Sylmar. Meet Denali and Dakota, resident eagles at the Wildlife Learning Center.
Seeing those eagles in Big Bear in the wild in real time is really special.
Center founder David Reichert says their eagles suffered injuries, making it impossible to release them in the wild, like other animals here.
His name is Zeus, but they're one of the smallest owl species in the world. And he's unfortunately about 90% blind.
But even giants like the Eurasian eagle owl, and yes, eagles, are threatened mostly by one thing: people.
Pesticides. The pesticide DDT had a great effect on eagles.
DDT had gotten into the water, which had gotten into the fish, and then the eagles were eating it.
The woman behind the Big Bear Eagle Cam explains DDT made eagles' eggs so brittle they were almost extinct. The pesticide was banned in the U.S., but has been replaced by rat poison as a major threat to wildlife.
The Santa Monica Mountains, it was something like 83% of the bobcats tested were positive for rodenticides.
What is the one most important thing you want to make sure people realize when they're looking at that camera?
How special, how amazing, how beautiful nature is, and that we're part of it. Our job to help protect it and maintain it, because that's protecting ourselves.
If you want to visit Dakota and Denali yourselves, yeah, they do take visitors here. The information is all on our website at foxla.com. And again, don't lose hope yet. Still plenty of time, at least for the other 2 eggs up in Big Bear. I'm Christina Gonzalez in Sylmar, Fox 11 News.
All right, finally tonight, a terrifying shark attack in Hawaii. Surfer Matt White says a large shark bit onto his board on Monday near Kaimana Beach in Honolulu. That shark just wouldn't let go and kept on shaking the board. After 30 years of hitting the waves, White says this was his first encounter with a shark, and officials do confirm it was an 8 to 10 foot tiger shark that he met on Monday afternoon. White says he kicked and punched the shark trying to get away.
So I fell off the board, and then I was laying on the side of the shark, and I could see its dorsal fin right by me, and had my hand and my knee on it, and I didn't know what to do.
White feels lucky to have gotten away with just some minor scratches, and after this encounter, authorities have posted shark warnings all along that beach. Ocean Safety says that since this encounter, there have been fewer swimmers and surfers who are out enjoying the waves, which certainly makes sense. But we're happy to hear that Matt is okay and now has an incredible story to tell. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching, and a reminder here, you can keep up to date on all the stories we're covering at westcoastwrap.com, and you can stream our shows on your smart TV by downloading the Fox Local app. Have a great night. See you back here tomorrow.